EG's very own Demuslim. Of course, TT1 being our blue Protoss, spawning on the left top side of Ohana. And EG's very own Benjamin Baker. He has a middle name as well. I'm trying to remember it right now. It might be James, but I'm not sure. I think he has a badass middle name. I don't think it's James.
My middle name's Badass.
No, I know your middle. I know your middle name, but I forgot about it. It's
Danger.
No, tell me, man.
It's Danger.
Be serious. What's your middle
Benjamin Danger Nickel.
name? John.
No, it really is Danger.
Benjamin John. I think I'm gonna call you John from now. So John, what are you expecting of this
What's
TVP?
wrong with the name John?
Nothing at all.
Why are you laughing at it?
I don't think your face it should be a John. You know, some people have a typical John face. You don't have a John face at all.
What does a John face look like?
Yeah, anything unlike yours.
Does Frodan have a John face?
No, not at all. Frodan could not suit it.
What about the NASL sound guy?
He could have been a John, yes.
Could have been a John.
Could have been a John. But you have this, like, something when you hear a name, and it's like, wow, I just never expected you to have that name. Like, some names you just kind of stereotype a certain face with it straight away.
I get that sometimes.
Yeah. Like Kevin, you think of guys like Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, you know. And you look
Not
at
the
me
thought that comes to my mind.
Okay. But you think of Kevin, you always
I think
of
it's Scumbag Steve.
No. Oh, wow. Wow, you did not go there. Most people, when they hear the name Kevin, the first thing they do is like, they slap their cheeks and like, Kevin! From Home Alone.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I will never get rid of that.
Oh, man. So, pretty normal openings thus far. Demuslim on the gasless 1 racks. Probably going to be a fast expand, as we can see him already banking up a lot of minerals. TT1 working off 1 gas, 1 gate. Also probably going to be fast expanding. Yep. But he's going to be doing it after his cybercore.
Probably only going to put 2 probes on it for now. Wants to make sure that everything is standard. But yes, TT1, you're not getting cheesed. He might actually remember the Demuslim against Hero from last season. Try to delay the comments in there a little bit. It's not going to happen. And he doesn't really want to harass the SCV either because he knows the Marine is incoming.
Yep, nice game sense there by TT1. Just knows exactly what's going on.
Of course, guys, sorry Ben to interrupt you right now, but yeah, Ben had a very good last season in the NASL. He came so close to making it to the offline finals. He finished 2nd in his division, even managed to defeat the likes of Hero and Dimaga. Or was it Dimaga? No, he beat pretty much everyone until he played against Hasselhoffs and Dimaga. That was still a great season for the Demuslim. In the playoffs, he lost in the very last round against Red, which went all the way to game number 5 as well. So the Demuslim often very successful in the NASL. Was it a Season 2 finals as well? Then unfortunately lost 3-0 against Torzane, but still making it to the offline finals is a small achievement on its own.
Yeah, not even a small achievement, Kev. It's a huge achievement. Once again, Demuslim does drop the eBay in the natural expansion.
4 probe. Ben, look at the probe.
TT1.
Probe was stuck. I think this is a great move by the Demuslim. I really think this is annoying. 2 probes right now are not mining. In this phase of the game, well, TT1 is always doing a good job chrono boosting out probes. I think that kind of characterizes TT1's play. He chrono boosts out probes so many, Ben. Often when I play PvP against him, I feel that I'm doing quite well. I watch the replay, I'm 12 probes behind, and I have no idea where it happens. Some might say it's greedy, but I like to see it as calculated greed.
Yeah, I mean, if it was that greedy, you'd see TT1 getting punished for it more, but he really doesn't get punished all that much. Nice micro on both sides there. I love how Demuslim was being active with those Marines, forcing that Stalker back, saying, hey, you're either going to commit this Stalker or you're going to get down the ramp, and Demuslim does force TT1 to back down.
Oh, man, talking about greed. Still chrono boosting out probes, even queuing up probes, going 1 gate Nexus, double forge. What?
That is a very, very bold maneuver, but I've got to say, I sort of think it's going to work out okay for TT1. Demuslim hasn't added that much tech. He's just thrown down a couple more racks in this single tech lab.
So Demuslim is playing differently though, because the last game he went on 2 racks, then went to factory, then tried to get the starport. This time, however, he's going to go very heavy in the Marines. As you can see, 2 racks with reactors. I think he's just going to sort of pseudo 3 racks.
Yeah, it's either going to be a stem push or some weird fast 3rd base. But he is getting stem and producing Marines and Marauders as quickly as he possibly can, so it looks more and more like it will be that stem push.
I think he's going to even try to attack before the medevacs are out, which is going to be crazy, but he's going to have so many bio units that TT1 is going to have to drop really excellent force fields to not take too much damage. This is one of the scenarios, man, these weird timings from Terran. I often die to them because if you just misplace one force field, if one time a few too many Stim Marines run up your ramp, you're going to lose all your sentries and you're just going to straight up die. So we'll see how TT1 is going to handle this.
Factory is going down though, Kev, so there's still a chance that the Muslim might wait for the medevac, and I think that would even be a stronger decision, just because it gives him more flexibility as to where he attacks. That said, it does delay the attack a little bit, and that's giving TT1 time to get units out.
I mean, if we take a look at the army supply tab right now, we see 20 for the Muslim, 12 for TT1. Of course, there are 3 gates right now, but I think if the Muslim would know that TT1 is upgrading double forge already, he would go right now immediately.
I think you almost have to. I mean, with only 4 sentries out, how many force fields is that? That's like 4? Is that right? Is it even that many?
No, it's more than that. It's right now he's on 6 force fields.
Okay. Which is still a very limited amount. Needs double force field to block this ramp if the force fields are perfect.
That's true. But yeah, it seems like you were right, man, as the Muslim is going to wait for his first 2 medevacs. I would have loved to see him try to hit it a little bit quicker, because TT1, of course, is not crazy. He knows when those medevac timings are possible. By then, I guess we're going to see more and more units. If he's going to start +2 on armor and attack immediately on both sides, then I think it's going to be really crazy, because then he's playing so greedy.
Yeah, but even just having 1-1 is going to be a really big asset for TT1.
Now, the Muslim is not really a player who likes to go for those fast expand into cloak Banshee builds, but just imagine that would have been the case. I mean, TT1 is playing with fire right now.
It's just straight up, you're dead.
Yeah.
He does have forges, so he could have thrown down cannons, but he would have taken so much damage.
Static defense does not really work out against Banshees. You're still going to lose 6, 7, 8, 9 probes, and you're going to be forced to warp in 6 to 8 cannons if you want to have detection everywhere. Just now he's getting his robo, right on the moment when the Muslim moves out. This is going to be so tough for TT1, by the way, to keep track on those medevacs, because normally, when you do these kind of builds, but you delay the forges, you have a robo facility, and if you don't really use it because you want to go gateway heavy stell, the best thing about it is you're going to have 4, 5, 6 observers on the map.
Yeah. And that's not the case here. The only vision TT1 had is what he had gained through control of that Zelnaga tower. He is immediately splitting up his units, though, sending Stalkers to the main to catch drops and leaving his sentries and zealots in the natural. This is really just all about execution, Kev. And I love that the Muslim's taking a 3rd base behind this. He put that command center down as soon as he moved out.
Yeah, that's the way that Terrans should play, and that's the best way they should play. TT1 just now, I think, sees it as the Muslim is going to scan, and immediately TT1 brings in the Stalkers as well. The Muslim is going to try to get perhaps a sandwich off over here.
No, instead he's going to scan and pick off the observer. That's a great play. Keeps TT1 in the dark even more. TT1 does finally spot this building command center, and what does that do to his thought process right now?
I think right now there's just not too much TT1 can do over here, Ben. He can't really walk down this ramp. There's too much DPS in this little army. He's going to wait for 2-2. He's going to wait for charge. He does have Blink already. He's starting to add in a few Immortals in the mix as well, which surprised me a little bit. Because if I was playing Protoss right now in this situation, and I see this very, very Marine-heavy army, I would not really waste my money on Immortals.
I'm pretty impressed at the Muslim's decision to just turn around and come back home, though, Kev. That said, TT1 is moving out, and he has a very large army. He's got 2-2 finished, and we're going to see a big timing with 2-2 in charge. And I don't know if the Muslim's going to be able to deal with this.
Army supply right now, TT1 has a small advantage, but there is still one Immortal on the way. The Muslim knows that this is coming, though, man, because he still has the factory over here, so he knows that TT1 is not dropping an additional Nexus.
And as a result of that, he should be producing units, and honestly should probably be building some bunkers, don't you think, Kev?
Yeah, I think that's always the best way to deal with these very, very heavy Zealot pushes. Because it's kind of like, it turns into a ZVT where you're just going to need walls to deal with the massive amount of links that are going to swarm around your army. If Protoss stays on 2 base, they're going to have a lot of minerals for quite a while. And those Zealots are just going to swarm around. A good spread is not going to be enough, because that just means more surface area for the Zealots to deal the damage. These are 2-2 Zealots.
Still no bunkers at all. Charge just finished, and here comes TT1. He's going to walk right into the natural expansion of the Muslim, trying to force a bit of an engagement, but neither player ready to commit just yet.
These are valuable seconds, man, for the Muslim, as his +2 is going to be ready within 40 seconds.
Oh, and here comes TT1. The force fields are just exceptional, really catching all of those Marines. A few more Zealots sweep in from the top half. They're going to die pretty quickly. But I still feel like TT1's doing some great damage. 130 supply right now, over 110. TT1 I think he's going to break him.
Doing a really good job so far. Most of the Stalkers are still alive. The Muslim has quite a few units left as well. He's trying to micro for his dear life. But TT1 is on 8 gates, I believe. He's just wiping in a ridiculous amount of units.
Yeah, this is done so nicely. What a great little timing attack here by TT1. This is finally
cool
something that we can call a timing, Kev.
Yes, this is an actual timing. He's going to pick up these medevacts. Nice forward playing there by the Canadian Protoss representing Team Root. Really, really solid play.
That last Marine gets chopped in half, and the army of TT1 marches on. Now he's going to head down to the third base, I would wager.
The TT1 shouldn't wait too much longer though, Ben, because the upgrades are starting to get better for the Muslim. And of course the Muslim is still on 3 bases. He lost a few SCVGs, actually lost 14, but he's still doing more than fine economically.
It's militarily that the Muslim is struggling, Kev, as TT1 is again going to get a good position, somehow baiting that army down the ramp, and oh no, Demuslim, you're never going to come back up that ramp, and that means your natural is going to be forfeit, and not only that, I think he might lose the main as well.
Good force was there by TT1. He's going to pick up those mules as well. The Muslim is going to try to come in from behind.
And it's not going to work at all. More great force fields. Immortals just kind of hammering away at whatever they can hit. Finally, with the Zealots being thinned out, the Muslim able to mount a little bit of a more respectable defense, but it's just too little too late, Kev. TT1 doubling the supply right now.
Sick timing by TT1 and really, really well executed.
It was a cool build. It's not something that you typically see, not a very standard PvT build.
He is playing with fire though, as we mentioned before. If they go for Cloaked Banshees, then you're in a world of trouble. But the Muslim, everybody can watch his stream. That's kind of a bad thing when you stream so incredibly much, as the Muslim does. Players are going to be able to really analyze your play. And if you watch someone play 10 TVPs while the Muslim does GG out and he does not go Cloak Banshees a single time, then I think you can get away with taking risks like TT1 just did.
TT1 took a lot of risks in that build, Kevin. He wasn't just vulnerable to Cloak Banshees. He was also very vulnerable to, for instance, the stim timing before medevacs. That would have also been very difficult for him to deal with. What about like a ghost push? Even something like that looks like it would have been really hard for him to deal with.
Yeah, because if those EMPs land on the sentries, I mean the 1-1 upgrades, it's a really big investment for Protoss early on to drop double forge and go 1-1. 1-1 helps out quite a bit, Ben, but often Terran around that time they may have +1 as well, even though these forges were ridiculously quick, so I guess not. But 1-1 versus 0-0, I don't think it's a world of difference. If you don't have the units to deal with your opponent units, you can have all the upgrades you want. But later on, the 2-2, that really kicked in, because when they fought, it was basically 2-2 versus 1-0. 1-1 was almost ready, but 2-1 was just not ready on time, and that really made a huge difference.
That ties up the series, meaning that the winner of this next map will be the winner of the match. Thank you to Azo for sponsoring that last game. We're going to take a very short break, and then we'll be back with Game 3. Demuslim versus TT1.